Hi everybody, I am obviously not Muffin Pie, but I'm going to be playing some games on her channel, doing some guest videos, games like Oxygen Not Included or Destiny comes out in just a couple weeks, so I'll be playing the games that she doesn't want to play, but you can still see them here on her channel. So today's game, Oxygen Not Included, with the new oil upgrade, just came out a few days ago. And if you haven't seen it, Oxygen Not Included is a colony simulation game where you basically don't want your people to die. So we're gonna go ahead and start a new game here. And they give you a few options, and new to this oil upgrade, they added some different settings here for the seed and I think some of the immune system. No, I think that was there before. But I think stress responses is new as a turn off and on, but I'm going to do standard and make the game a normal game. So when you start a new game, you get to choose between three people, and you can shuffle through these people. They're called duplicants here. Um, and you want to try to get a few key attributes to get started. Things that I like to look for here. Athletics is good because there's a hamster wheel that you can use for power generation, and the movement speed helps with that. Learning will help with research, but once the research is all done, then it's not so important. Just changes how fast they gain skills. But I also like digging, strength, and construction. So they're the ones that I like right off the bat. A couple things that I look for as well are these traits. Um, there are negative traits that they can have. Flatulent, I try to stay away from because they cause polluted oxygen to appear. Pacifist, they won't fight, but I'm not too worried about that one. Irritable bowel, I'm also not too worried about that one. This one is just they have to. It takes them a little longer to go to the bathroom, but I find it doesn't disrupt the work that they do, so I don't mind that one so much. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to shuffle through these until I have a set that I like, and then I'll be back. Okay, so I found some people. I have Io here is my athlete, so he's going to run on that hamster wheel, but he's got some good strength for once I migrate on to some other power, either coal or natural gas, whichever I find more of. Um, I have someone who can do research. Now, he's biohazardous, which means that he loses 4% of his immune system every day. However, he has this immunity trait, which is +7, so he's going to net 3 immunity per cycle, so I'm okay with that. And then over here we have Atropus is going to be a yokel, which means she can't do research, but that's not a big deal. I can get another person later. I like to have two people to do research. Before I start up, I just point out this additional things down here. We have the stress response is what they're going to do when they hit 100% stress. They'll start destroying things, throwing up, crying uncontrollably, things like that. They also have decor and food quality expectations, and that's based on their level. So the higher the level, the higher expectation they want. But I found that if you get somebody who has high creativity, at least 4, and then just have them put paintings everywhere, then people don't get stressed as easily, and I'm okay with that. I like trans-dimensional rat's nest. So let's embark. All right, so your crew is woken stranded inside a distant asteroid. Oddly, they can't recall how they got there. They'll need to survive to find answers. So one of the things that they added in the Outbreak update was they added some rooms that are kind of hidden around that you can find, and actually there's one right here. So security door. You find some secrets in there, kind of tell you about experiments that have happened or find new clothes and things like that, which is kind of neat. So to get started, I'm going to assume that people haven't played a lot of this game. The basis is you have these duplicants and you want to make sure they stay alive. And every 3 cycles, which cycles are tracked up here, you get another duplicant. So we start out with these 3, and we have a ration box which is filled with 20,000 kilocalories of nutrient bars, and they'll eat that, and they eat at about 1,000 calories per day per duplicate. So that'll that'll only last us about 6 days or so, and then that's only if we don't bring in another duplicate on day 3. So we'll want to start making food usually around day 5 or 6. So we'll get to that. Up here you can see, I'm gonna. There we go. So this hadn't uploaded yet. So we have 3 duplicates. They're at 5% stress, 93% immune system, which is pretty standard, especially with that one person that had the biohazard trait. And then how much food you have. You can adjust your speed of play. Standard to me feels slow, like everything's going in slow motion. Medium seems like a normal speed, and then fast speed is a little bit faster. For this video, I think I'm going to play in medium speed just so I can kind of explain what's going on. And then you can also turn on red alert, and what that does is it tells everybody to skip going to the bathroom, skip going to bed, and do whatever I've tasked them to do, and then that'll get them going. They don't like that a lot. It stresses them out. So then over here we have some overlays that you can check out. I'm only going to explain a couple of these because I'll get to them naturally just through the gameplay. So the big one is this oxygen overlay, because as the game is titled, oxygen not included. So the more blue an area is, the more oxygen, and the less blue and more red, the less oxygen. So it looks like I have quite a bit of oxygen to start off with, which is nice. And you can see that there's this oxalate, which every colony starts with this configuration of 5 oxalate. And what this does is it emits oxygen, and it deteriorates as it emits the oxygen. So once this 187.1 kilogram block of oxalate dissipates, it'll just the block will disappear, and it'll no longer get oxygen from that. But I can see I have quite a bit around here. I have some copper up here, which is going to be nice. We have a shine bug. They're neat because they just provide light, and light is pretty. So it will help your decor. So you can see that this guy is actually making 15 decor for the lighting, and I was showing you before that people have an expectation for decor, so you want to keep an eye on that. I also have some water right here, which is nice to have water nearby to start a game. So the first thing I'm going to do is I want to get at that water, so I'm going to dig this way, and I'm going to tell them that they can go ahead and harvest that. So they're going to get started. So this is your standard tile, which you can get through the base menu. And I usually like to have about 11 tiles on either side of this base. So I'm going to do, there's 4, and there's another 4, and there's 3. So what'll happen is I get an even number, which helps with placing symmetrical paintings, because that's just how I like the things to look symmetrical. And then I'm going to take a ladder down here, and that'll destroy this plant here, but the plant's already dying, so it's not going to be that big of a difference. And then with the water, if you played this game previously, you could just have your duplicates suck up the water with their guns, and then they would take it to wherever they need it. It doesn't work like that anymore. You have to actually collect the water. So to do that, you go into your plumbing menu, and you pick a pitcher pump, which you can see there's a tube coming out of it. And you just place that in the water so that the tube is getting the water from underneath. So I'm going to put this, I'm going to put that there, and then they'll automatically dig that out, and they're going to go to work. So one thing that I like to do is set this ration box up to 9, and what that does is make sure that they'll take the food and they'll put it right in here immediately, which is nice because then they always know where to go for food. It's always right here. They don't have to run all over everywhere trying to find food. So one of the things that Io just did was he complained about the temperature. So his body temperature is at 37°C, um, and then that, which is healthy, but he complained about the cold. So I'm going to go ahead and check this temperature overlay, and this is all pretty temperate. So I'm not quite sure why he was upset about that. So over here we have some. It's pretty hot. Oh, that's another room. I can see the edge of the tile there. So we'll try to dig into there and find out what's going on with these duplicants. So while they're working, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to just set up some things that I want them to start working on. So I'm going to get them to build some beds, because then that'll make sure that they have somewhere to sleep. They will sleep on the floor, but they don't like that too much. It stresses them out. So it's better to have them in the bed, and then having the beds right away, make sure that they have that bed. So here's a little guy. It's a hatch. What they do is they walk back and forth, and they eat resources that are left on the ground. And then they create coal from pooping out the resources that they ate, which I know that some people use as a strategy to generate coal, but I've never had much luck with that strategy, so I go ahead and kill them right away. But right now I want them to get these beds done, so I'm gonna go ahead and change the priority on them. So you can change priority. I know I don't see a button for there. There's prioritize. There you go. Or you can hit P, opens priority menu. Then hit 9 or click on the button, change priority of the things. They already have the water going, so that's not a big deal. And then they'll go ahead and make those beds. And once that bed's done, I'm going to have them kill this hatch so that he's not eating my resources. Okay. So they killed that guy. And they're standing around. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to have them go this direction. And I like to have ladders in between each of the layers. So I'm just going to create a small ladder. And then I'm going to put in a small landing. And then I'm going to create a bathroom. So a strategy that I've come up with for myself is to have a bathroom pretty quick before the second day, because what'll happen is they can get through the first day with very little problem without going to the bathroom, but then the second day after they eat breakfast, they usually have to go to the bathroom. So I try to have an outhouse by then. And since I already have this water, I'm going to go ahead and put in this wash basin, which is also new to the outbreak update, which was the previous update to the oil one. So what this does is as the duplicants walk past it, in whatever direction you specify, they'll wash their hands, and that helps with this, prevent the spread of disease through the rest of your colony. So with this germ overlay, you can see where the germs are, and you can see there's a warning that this outhouse generates food poisoning. But food poisoning won't kill your duplicants, it'll just make them sick. Slime lung can kill them if they go untreated. So slime lung is it's pretty bad. So, and up here I see that there's actually something that causes slime lung inside that room. So I'll have to be careful. And they're idle again. So what I'm gonna do is I wanna, you know what, this isn't what I usually do, but considering that's there already, I'm gonna have them come over here and find me this stuff that's in that room. And cycle 1's almost done already. I see some algae and some copper down here, so I'll have them dig that out as well. I'll get this, and then there's also some oxalate, so they'll get some oxygen generating. So we'll do that, and I'll dig out this dirt so they can get up there. So algae is super important in this game because you can make oxygen with the algae dioxidizer that requires power. So you'll have one of your duplicants will be on one of these manual generators, which I can't make because I don't have any copper yet. But once I get into this copper, I can at least start on that. So I'm gonna kind of plot out my base here a little bit, and that's 4, so I'm gonna do that. Bring that back there. Bring this all the way down, and just do this. All right, so they'll get started on that. So something that you may have noticed while they were working is that the sand fell from the ceiling and blocked this outhouse. So this outhouse is not going to be usable until they fix that sand. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. Now, because I have this ladder here, which means they can go somewhere else, I don't like doing that. So I'm actually going to cancel that, and I'm just going to make this a room. I'm going to cancel those. Okay, and then I'm going to just destroy that. Okay, and then they'll get down there from over here. The reason why I don't like that is because you only want to have to worry about your germs coming from one direction, so that they don't... because if they go over this way and get out, then they're not going to wash their hands. But if they come in, go to the bathroom, then go this way, they're not going to wash their hands right away. So then they can be spreading germs all over your base. So that's not what you want to happen. So I really only wanted to get through the first cycle on this, but there wasn't a lot of stopping. So I'm going to go ahead and pause this, and I want to go through some of these things just to give a little explanation for what I'm doing. Tell them to dig up that sand. So I didn't create a storage compactor, so I'm going to go ahead and do that, and that's going to be where they're going to keep all this debris that's on the ground. So I showed you the decor overlay, and you can see that all of this is super ugly because of the debris on the ground. So one easy way to help relieve the negative value of decor in the area is to just get rid of that debris. So they'll do that with the trash compactors. And then I usually try to figure out what direction I want to explore in, but I think the game figured that out for me because I want to check out these security doors. So that's what they're going to do. So I'm going to let them go in the background, and I'm also going to tell them to sweep everything that they did. And then I'm going to explain some of these things down here. So these different menus are where you get your items that you build. You can create rooms. So I don't have any copper yet, but if I were to put a door here, it would actually make a latrine, which relieves the stress of any duplicant that's in there. But it needs a door, it needs to be enclosed, and then it needs whatever criteria this tooltip says. So latrine says toilet, wash station, no industrial machinery, at least 12, but no more than 64. And this is going to fit that as long as I get a door in. Which I just got some copper, so I can tell them to do that. The power is going to come next, and then showed you the medicine. So you can create cots for them to sleep in. Massage table will help release stress, but you need power to power them. A research station is how you start your research, and you can't check your research until you build one of those. And then down here are the basic actions that a duplicant can do. They can dig, attack, harvest, prioritize. The higher the number, the higher priority. They can sweep up the things, which they can't sweep if I don't tell them what can go. So I'm just going to check all, click copy settings, and then copy settings. So they're going to copy settings. And then I'm also going to tell them to sweep up all of this. They can mop up water or polluted water if they make a mess of themselves. But one of the things that they did in an update is you can no longer tell them to mop if it's on the floor, and you can't tell them to mop if there's too much liquid, which is definitely nice because they used to just stand there and continuously mop until they literally mop all of the water away, which was no fun. They can now disinfect, and you can change what level they'll start disinfecting. So I'm going to change this to 100,000 because I find that sometimes it's a little disruptive how often they disinfect. Then you can deconstruct, and then this is nice because you can tell it to deconstruct specific types of things. So if you just want to get rid of all the wires you have in a specific area, you can just get rid of all the wires, not everything that's in that area. So I think that's going to be it for this first episode. They're about to go to bed. I'm going to get a new duplicant in less than a cycle, and I think that's the basics of getting started with Oxygen Not Included. The next time I do a guest episode on Muffin Pie Plays, I'll be playing a full set, probably 8 or 10 cycles or so. With a little less explanation. I definitely need to get into these rooms to explore, and I need to find more water because that's not going to be enough. So that's going to be it for this video. So make sure that if you enjoyed the video, you leave a like and leave a comment. Let me know if you have any questions about the gameplay or where you'd like me to go next. And make sure you subscribe and hit that bell so you get notifications for all new videos. I'll see you guys next time.